Welcome to Let's Talk Business. It's a series of sessions on leaders talk. Today we have Mr. Amit Ganguly. Amit has 25 plus years of experience in the IT industry. He is a TED speaker, coach, mentor, moreover an author, a public speaker. So Amit is an organization development expert, member of International Institute of Influencers, mentor in FEA, SDG, a UN initiative warrior. Amit is also a founder and managing director of Blessed IT Solutions Private Limited. Welcome, Mr. Amit. Today, the theme is the journey of Blessed IT Solutions in a conversation with Mr. Amit Ganguly.
Thank you, Sreejesh. It's an honor to be part of this conversation and speaking to you and sharing my journey and experience and whatever we have.
Right. Thank you so much, Amit. Let's dive into the conversation. Right. Yeah. How does it feel to be the founder of Blessed IT Solution at your age? What are the major transformations in your life as a business professional to the role of the entrepreneur?
Feels good. First of all, to answer the first part of the question is definitely it feels excellent. I mean, I can feel that I have been able to break the barriers of 9 to 5, Monday to Friday kind of job, where I'm responsible of a lot of things, but ultimately I was doing something to, of course, please myself, but mostly please somebody else. But here now, when we are working of our own, the best part is we are doing whatever we are doing for ourselves. So that pleasure, that sense of accomplishment is huge. I mean, it's unbelievable, fantastic.
Right.
Age for me is just a number, especially when my personal feeling is, or my personal trait, I would say, not feeling. Personal trait is I do something only when I have full confidence on it, number one. And number two is another very important thing is when I know how the whole thing works. So during my professional journey, professional career, I felt that I have learned and I have kind of experienced on various side of the coin, various part of the coin. So yeah, I mean, it might be a good time to start a different journey altogether. Now, transformation from a professional to an entrepreneur is again a very important part of the whole thing. Is I must say that whenever we are looking into certain aspects, certain areas of our day-to-day life and work and all these things, it's different. I mean, the best part which I like is if I want middle of the week, if I feel that today should be my Sunday, so I can make it Sunday.
Correct. Yes.
So that freedom is there, of course.
Right. So I mean to say it's more or less the passion you're driving now, correct?
Oh yes, absolutely. 100%.
Right. So can you share some of the proud moments in your IT business? How do you see the opportunities in a post-pandemic world?
Yes. So post-pandemic world, what we see is, our business has multiple facets or multiple pillars. Now, one good thing about IT, what I found is earlier, be it training, be it recruitment was still kind of, we have been able to, or we have broken the barrier much earlier. But especially in training, earlier every training or almost every training used to happen offline or in-person kind of training. So which means if I want a training to be delivered, say for an organization, I need to, or the organization need to have the critical mass in that particular city, or else they will have to get people flying into one location, or they will have to organize the same training 5 different times at 5 different cities, for example. Now everything become online. So the advantage of everything become online is the geographic barrier. We could break the geographic barrier, number one. And as a result of that, very honestly speaking, again, looking from another aspect, if we look at the developmental aspect or software development or core IT sector, um, many of times or many of the organization have not thought that loads of things can be done kind of remotely or working from home. I mean, we all the managers had a lot of inhibition, I would say, in terms of working from home and all these things. Every manager or other, most of the managers believe their people should work under their nose, and then only they will come to know whether they are working or not working. So now those barriers have also kind of broken. So that's a huge opportunity or huge advantage. Once again, we need to be. I mean, I personally consider this for an IT industry, especially. It's a benefit. It's a boon, um, because we could achieve lots of things perhaps which were earlier comparatively difficult to do that.
Right. So I think you see a paradigm shift in human resource management and training areas due to this COVID situation.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Right. When comes to the point of by carefully considering the roadmap of your business. So, what are the measures taken to promote your business as a brand?
If I consider promoting business as a brand, roadmap for the business, in that case, the first and foremost thing I would say, uh, I mean, the most important aspect, most important part of the thing is when we are looking at particular segment, particular area, um, we need to think what my clients or customer want. Now, many of times we make a mistake while preparing the branding or doing the brand campaigning and all these things. Often we make a mistake that we try to push what we want to sell, not what the customer or what my client want. So, my perspective, my personal or own perspective is, while we are preparing the or promoting the business as a brand, and those areas are those at that point of time, we need to understand what problem of an individual, of a company, or of a society we are trying to solve. So we need to be very careful about that. Number one. So once we know what problem we are going to solve, second is who all will be benefited out of that, and third then comes how we can fit into that, and of course by the end of the day how we can make money out of it, because ultimately by end of the day it's a business.
Yes.
So that's also very important. So based on three things, my personal opinion is, based on three things we can prepare, or we can charter, or we can create a roadmap.
Well said, Mr. Amit. So, can you tell us about some of the mistakes and learnings in your 25 years of experience or expertise in the domain from your own experience as an entrepreneur, as a business professional?
Right. So first, let me talk about the. I mean, see, again, my personal opinion. I'm pretty clear about it that though we all read about it, that failures are the pillars of success, this, that, and all these things. But many of times, what happens is when we fail, we kind of dishearten. But
Right.
what I learned, I mean, I was also exactly like that earlier when I was in a corporate journey or working professional, I would say. Now, after that, when I come to the different or wore a different shoes of an entrepreneur, that time I realized and I learned actually that failures or the mistakes are actually learning. It helps us to learn. It helps us to learn what we or what I did wrong or what we did wrong, understand that, and then maybe connect with. It's very important that we have a good network of like-minded people, or people of the who are in the same type of work, same type of business. As a result of that, we can share our mistakes, and share our good things also, so that we can stop repeating the same mistake or same thing once again. So in other words, we can stop reinventing the wheel. Uh, as a result of mistakes, if we say, yeah, we have learned a lot. Say, for example, if I if I may say, as an individual, I was earlier, when I was in corporate world, I was completely unaware of personal brands. And I am a very, not very, I would say 100, almost 100% social media shy person. My
Right.
LinkedIn number of people in my LinkedIn connection and Facebook were only very, very, very limited, very few, close to 200 or so. And all of them whom I knew in person by face, I didn't feel comfortable, very honestly speaking, to an unknown person. I used to feel other way very uncomfortable actually. So I had
Right.
to break those barriers, those mental barriers of mine. Yeah, I had to work on that, because now you need to establish your own brand, your company's brand. So you can't shy away from speaking to unknown people, or expanding your network, or widening your network.
Right. Yeah, it's absolutely right. You said that, right? So it's all about the human to human business. It's not about B2B, B2C, C2C, whatever you call it, right? So
Correct.
all about H to H. I believe in human to human business. So relationship matters a lot, where you will get into more connections and reach out to the right audience, right? So that's how the business goes nowadays. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I also believe that failures are stepping stones to success. So the more you have failures, you will learn a lot of things from there and moving to the success. So the more failures, the sooner you will be a successful person. That's what I believe in.
Absolutely, 100%, Sreejesh. I mean, there
Yeah.
are people who says that, oh, what happens? I have failed. I tell everyone that show me one successful person, whatever the field might be, who had never failed in life. I mean,
Yes.
without that, they cannot be successful. No one can be successful without failing, without
Yeah.
making mistakes.
Yeah, that's a beauty part of it. If you really see that, right, all of these entrepreneurs or business people we talk about, they have n number of failures before they make one success,
Absolutely, very true,
right?
very true.
Yeah. Right. So, as a brand strategist and a growth leader, so do you believe the conviction of your vision is getting persuaded to the right audience? Do you see that?
Yes. So, very honestly, Suyesh, I will put it in a different perspective, honestly. Uh, Rather than persuading my vision or pushing my vision, or get others getting conviction or convicted, or convinced by my vision, it's better to understand what is their pain area, what solution, what is the problem they are facing, what is the solution that we can provide. So it's a kind of a junction point. I mean, I would say it's like a bridge. One side we are standing with some solution, with some plan, with some strategies, whatsoever it might be, or with some, might be some products if it is a product organization. And on the other side is our consumer, customer, client, whoever it might be. Now we need to have a build a bridge which will serve the common purpose. I mean, that will be possible only when the consumer or customer wants that product, service, or whatsoever it might be, and both the parties will have to meet in the midway. I mean, I can't expect that my clients will come all the way to me, or clients also or customers also cannot always expect that the company will come all the way to them. So we need to meet somewhere in the middle point. And from that aspect, if we look at, then our solution, our product, our whatever, I mean, whatever we are trying to persuade, rather, it should be in such a way that it has a demand in the market. It has a requirement. I mean, I am selling something which doesn't have a requirement. Let me take an example. Suppose if I'm a camera manufacturing company, and if I today decide, okay, let me manufacture cameras with film rolls. Now, will there be any taker in the world, in the market? Perhaps not.
Not yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So, Amit, also I would like to know about Blessed IT Solution efforts on building a better human resource management ecosystem for startups in this segment. So nowadays, if you really see that market is populated with startup companies, right?
Right.
Of course, the main challenge is that getting the right resources on board. So that's the challenge for it, for any of the organization if you talk about, right? So how do you identify these gaps between human resources and the organization? How can you fill this gap by helping startups?
Right. So again, Sreejesh, I mean, there are two aspects of the whole thing. When we are talking about the gap, yes, especially on the niche technology, there is a gap. I mean, there that always be there. I mean, we can't expect that a golden day to come when there is no gap, and then that technology will no longer be niche, or that particular segment will no longer be niche.
Right.
So there will be gap. Now the point is how we are going to fill that gap. Um, if it is a niche technology, in that case, what I or we suggest to all the youngsters, job aspirants, that guys, you need to have your foundation very strong. I mean, say, since we are talking about IT, the IT foundation, the foundation knowledge or basic knowledge, which we call, it has to be very strong. Because in IT, every now and then, new technologies will keep on coming. And every now and then, you cannot expect that your organization will send you for a training or you will go for a training. Moreover, if you really want to be an early passenger in the on board for that particular niche technology, you can't expect that somebody will teach you. You need to get a kind of a self teaching mode or self learning mode. So for that, foundation has to be very strong. Now,
Of
non niche technology, if we say, uh, there, yes, resources are available, but here, very honestly speaking, I mean, if I may say, I'm finding little disturbing trend actually for last few weeks. Now, market has opened up, which is very good. There are a lot of job opportunities, which is fantastic. Now, as a job aspirant, if I say, for example, accept an offer from an organization and continue doing the job hunting, and on the day of onboarding, if I don't join, that's not right. That's pretty unethical to me. Secondly, for an interview, if I have confirmed my time slot, my availability on so and so date, so and so time, whatever the reason might be, I mean, nobody is forcing me to take the job or attend the interview. If I get a better offer before the interview date, there is no problem in dropping an email or send a message or WhatsApp or anything informing that no, sorry, I'm not no longer interested. Fair enough. But you just don't show up for the interview. The worst part is, on the resource management part or talent onboarding part, we usually call or send a message to the candidate about 2 hours before the interview. And during that time also, people say, yes, yes, I'm coming, I'll be joining. And then the interview panel is waiting, the organizers are waiting, and there is no show from the candidate. Now when we call at that point of time, they don't pick up the call, they don't respond to the message WhatsApp. So that's not right. That's pretty unethical. I mean, we are kind of, if this continues or if this increases, it might even crash Indian IT market, because I already started hearing from my friends, ex-colleagues who are kind of a CEO or a CEO position of a small multinational company for their India operations. They started telling that their clients, I mean, foreign clients, they started preferring, many of them, not everyone, many of them or some of them started preferring other countries, other geographies like Vietnam, East European countries compared to India because of these problems, tantrums from the resource onboarding part. So that's
yes,
not a
yes,
good
yes.
news.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
So I think yeah, that area we really need to look into that, right? So there are a lot of challenges if you see these human resource management, onboarding, talent acquisition, Right. So nowadays, attrition is also one of the thing.
Yes.
Major organizations are focused on how you can stick these employees to their organization. So that is one of the area where everyone is looking into that. And if you really see that, how do you understand these parameters, right? Attrition, getting the right candidates on board, hunting for the right role or profile in the market. So, do you see a challenge when compared with maybe 10 years back and now? How do you see that? How do you differentiate this?
Well, um, yes, there is a difference. Definitely, it's a remarkable difference, of course. Um, See, 10 years back, very honestly speaking, the scenario was different. I mean, different in the sense, both from the candidate side and the organization side. I would not blame only the candidate or only only the employees or resources or only the organization. That time, both the sides were many of cases, it was better. A lot of human touch on both the sides were there. Lot of in-person relationship used to be there. So when I join a company, join an organization, I am not joining an organization per se. I am joining a team, which means a set of people. Now, if I feel acquainted with the people, if I don't get alienated, kind of, in that case, I will kind of have a second family, second home, second family in the office, right? So, I mean, because we all spend 8, 9, 10 hours in the office. So, if I have a good team, people are good around me, then everybody will be happy, everybody will feel good. And again, a very important point, how your manager treats you. I mean, it was a situation at the very early days of my Accenture. In first few months, I had to go to my skip level supervisor and say, told about my then supervisor that either he will be there or I will be there. I can't work with that person. Not possible. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of situation should not be there. Similarly, on the other side, on the human resource and the individual level or the career aspirant, candidate, if whatever we call, from that aspect also, we need to take some level of responsibility, some level of responsibility, some level of commitment. If I join somewhere, until and unless something very serious happens, until and unless there is a huge or serious breach of trust. I mean, say, for example, I have joined in an organization as a Java developer and I am asked to do maybe the documentation. Then that's a different thing altogether. But other than that, somebody is throwing, little more money to me, and I am jumping to that person. Then I'm sorry. I mean, whether am I a human being or am I a dog? Even dogs are more loyal and faithful.
Right. Yeah, I think you very well articulated that point, right? So last but not the least, the question is that do you have any role model to bring your business to the next level? So how do you see that the role model concept?
See, role model. It's a very big word, very honestly speaking. Honestly, I have not thought anything about the role model part. What is our objective, or what is right now, since we are very young in the business or entrepreneurship journey, our objective at present is to help people from all
Right.
the aspect, be it our client, when we are doing the talent acquisition thing, being our client, also for the job aspirant, we are helping both the parties. Similarly, when we are giving training, organizing training, the same applies. We are helping everyone. I mean, both the side of the boats or both the side of the river. So our objective is to continue extending the helping hand so that kind of everybody get beneficial, and it becomes an win-win situation.
Right. So I think the overall idea of human resource management taking to the next level from best IT solutions. So that's what your vision. I mean to say, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. Right. So I think we have just concluded our overall conversation right now with a note that and gesture of thanks to you for joining this e-meeting. Right. Nice to connect with you, and yeah, that's about this overall understanding about your organization, about yourself. So yes, so I would like to conclude the session with a good note, right? I wish all the very best to Blessed IT Solution and to you in specific, right? So thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Sreejesh.
Mr. Amit. Thank you for joining today. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Sreejesh. Thanks for giving the opportunity. It was excellent speaking to you, and it's a pleasure. It's an honor. Thank you.